it's a pretty humbling experience later in life to figure out that you've basically been utilized as a garbage can by people that don't have the emotional maturity to take accountability for what they do. It's very blindingly apparent when you go through things like this. Anyways, for those people around the table who think that they can still garbage can me, understand those days are done. I'm not your garbage can anymore. And yes, I'm a real human being going through all of this shit in real time. One of the reasons that I'm speaking is that I was kind of forced into a life that looks like a V.C. Andrews novel, and I don't want to live here. The purpose of this report is to talk about these very significant hard issues without me having to sink down to your dirty, disgusting levels. I don't have to say I'm better than you out loud for it to be true. So maybe deal with this as like a public service announcement. Any abuses laid onto my daughter or myself from here on out will be publicly posted in a way that is very difficult to reprimand me for it. I'm that smart. Maybe stop playing games with people that are smarter than you. I don't want to play your games, but if I'm forced to, you're not going to like it. If I'm forced to, you're going to figure out I could have won the whole time. I'm not like you. Now I know that there's a lot of toxic people in our environment that have been told throughout their lives that they don't need to change. And let me just clarify that right now. You need to change. You need to try. Okay? Just toxic people can't change. You cross that out. We're going to throw that in the garbage. This problem is now too big. There's far too many of you. We're talking about my problem right now, but understand it is far bigger. Like empathizes with like. A group of angry these people are rational and they lie. A group of angry these people is a fucking mob. The last generation put the pride of their parents above their kids. We're not going to do that. We fixed this problem. So in the next 3 videos, we're going to be going over the concepts of the types of abuse. So we're going to kick this off with demeaning, and then we'll go into blaming, and finally we're going to do threatening. So this one's demeaning. Demeaning behavior is any action or communication that makes someone feel inferior or less valuable than they actually are. This includes insults, belittling, name-calling, backhanded insults, basically any action that impacts a person's self-concept. So your self-concept is important here. When I think about self-concept, for me, it kind of looks like the bars in the video game, kind of like this. If we utilize the example like you are stupid, they're attacking your intelligence. So they're trying to take you from here, basically, to here. Now, conceptually, we deal a lot with how this happens, but I think our next stage in evolutional learning about these sort of dynamics is understanding how this happens. Yeah. And when you look at it functionally, like almost on an energetic level, it's basically enslavement. Now, demeaning comments is a massive category. So it is drilled down into 4 separate buckets. So I'll go over each one. 3 of them are actually offensive, as in the abuser is trying to put the victim below them. And I've also added an additional fun category, which is defensive, which is actually the abuser trying to put themselves on top of the victim. Very interesting stuff. So to explain this to you, I'm just going to actually populate this visual as I speak it. And we're going to start with direct insults. A direct insult is an attack on a character trait which is a component of the victim's self-concept. So I'm actually going to go through the examples. It's going to be entertaining, like dry, dry insults. Okay, you're a shitty wife. You won't answer any of my questions because you're a coward. Your psycho is showing. Stop being an asshole, please. You sad little man. Next offensive category is insinuated traits. This is an indirect attack on a character trait, which is a component of the victim's self-concept. Examples. I'm not a fucking idiot, Ashley. I know you. You can call daddy if you want. 9 out of 10 guys would not be able to hack it. Some of them are funny. You say you're working, so busy. I'm tracking this because everything you write is a lie. Third category is malice. This is like a total attack on person. So these are the fuck yous, like that sort of stuff. So examples. I'll take to the week to reflect on this bullshit and get back to you by Wednesday. And a shitty person, Ashley, awful. Go find somebody else's life to destroy. What is wrong with you? I don't care if you cheat. Go fuck everyone. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm saying these things out loud. You know, we're dealing with hard issues and it's going to have hard language. I'm sorry. Okay, fourth category, and this is the really entertaining one because it came out so often in language, I started to track it, and I called it forcing gratitude. And basically, it's the abuser trying to put themselves on top of you like you should be grateful to them. Like you should revere them like they're up on a pedestal. Sometimes this looks vicious, and sometimes it's just somebody forcing you to say thank you to them over and over and over again. That's why I call it forcing gratitude. So the formal definition is an indirect attack wherein the abuser degrades by creating an environment wherein the victim is expected to show gratitude. Examples of this. And because of it, I always have to fix it all. Any normal person would have said thank you. Every time I try and be nice, you act like this. You're welcome for helping clean up the brush on the property which you have never done. Demeaning.